reasonably fast, but not fast enough, I guess. Actually, now that I think on it, and I would have to double check myself on this, which you can do if you want to double check me. I think the TurboGrafx port actually was like years after the arcade version.
All right, I'll do a little bit of it.
But I'm not sure about the FM Towns Marty port, which is really like the only reason to own an FM Towns Marty, and also is obscenely expensive.
FM Towns is my favorite
on the
late
secondary
90s boy
market.
band.
Is FM Towns Marty your favorite member of that band?
All right, arcade, 1988 in Japan. TurboGrafx, 1990 in Japan. So 2 years. A huge
2 years
span of time, but longer than I would have expected.
But I was correct when I said years. Yeah, I mean, and what about the FM? Does it say
yeah,
the
FM
Marty
Towns,
port?
1992.
Yeah, see, the Towns port is pretty much arcade perfect from my understanding. It's one of those weird. So the FM Towns was a computer, and the FM Towns Marty was the consoleized version of that computer. But I guess like there's some weird stuff where not all the games for the computer work on the console version. This boss, obviously a reference to Alien. If you know you're not particularly swift on the uptake or have never seen Alien, I guess I need to explain that. So yes, this was the first console Splatterhouse game, and it's weird because it was never. Well, it's not that weird that it wasn't brought to the U.S. because obviously, like, it's sort of cutesy, but it's pretty violent for what Nintendo censors would have allowed. Nintendo of America censors would have allowed.
You think the
in that time
was a bridge too far?
I don't know if it was the chest burster specifically. If you notice, a lot of the enemies I kill, like, again, they're cutesy, but like when you hit them with the axe, they get like cut in half, and like the body drops to the ground, and the head goes flying and stuff like that. So,
for button, stuff being chopped.
Well, I know that they changed the exploding heads in the Fist of the North Star game when they brought it to the U.S.
Sure.
I don't know.
What was that one exploding head?
I mean, I imagine so. There was that one exploding head that they missed. But that exploding head is really late in the game, and it's the only one in that particular game. And also it's Hitler, so like, I mean... But like, I'm decapitating these little pumpkin kids, and like that, I mean, it's just... they were super conservative at the time. And this is not an especially late era Famicom game.
89?
And also, Namco was not publishing in the U.S. at the time. So actually, really, even if it was going to be brought over, Tengen was handling the publishing for Namco because they were part owned by them for a short time in that time frame. Which you know if you've been watching the more recent episodes of Same Name Different Game. But so Tengen would have published it, I guess, but they opted not to or whatever. Oh, this scene actually is probably a good reason why it wouldn't come out as a licensed title. There's already
a church,
so
right?
Chop these dudes in half. So I'm in the church, right, and now I'm going to fight a dude who looks like a Klansman on like a giant pentagram. So with a skull in the background.
Hey, if they can localize wampum, you know, what could they change the Klansman guy to? Get the license from Ghostbusters, making the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
Well, you know, what did they do? In Kid Dracula for the Game Boy, the ghost looks like a Klansman, but they removed, and he has a manji on his head, which is a Japanese sort of swastika-looking emblem. That's like an emblem of the afterlife, sort of. They removed that, and then they, as they did with that, what's that? There's one Pokemon that has it, and I never remember which one it is. They removed that, and then sort of like unpointed the head of the ghost, so it doesn't look as much like a Klansman. It just looks like a kid dressed up in a white sheet.
Well, this guy's kind of green. You could probably recolor him as a pterodactyl or something.
That's not particularly horror themed. And then he turns into a goat, as you may have just seen. I don't know if you're there yet. So that's the sort of vaguely satanic. It's just not the kind of thing that would have flown past Nintendo censors.
I got to clarify for you that it's not a pentagram; it is a Star of David.
It is.
I don't know what their stance on.
Which the Japanese seem to think. Well, I think they removed them from Ninja Gaiden, right? Because there's 3 on the floor when you face the Jackio.
Is it the
Kennedy.
I
I thought it was the Jack. I thought he was the Jack because it's like it means like the Demon King or something like that.
Could be. I don't know.
Pardon me while I wet my whistle with some cherry coke. So what the hell was I saying? Oh yeah, they removed. I feel like they removed the Stars of David from the floor. I think the Japanese sort of use the Star of David as a stand-in for a pentacle, like, which is weird. But in a lot of like satanic or demon, or there's just like a bunch of anti-Semitism like running rampant in Japan, which would not be especially surprising, I guess, because they're like a weird monoculture. But it seems like in games with demonic references, they often insert Stars of David where a pentagram would be more appropriate. Yeah, this is not the only game that does that. I have a shotgun. So the only power-up you can get in this game is a shotgun, and it's like overpowered. This is clearly a reference to The Fly. Again, if you're really not up to your horror lore, you might not know that, but I feel like this is enough of a cultural reference that you would have to know this is a reference to The Fly.
Well, the part where the fly goes into the teleporter, they spelled it out for you pretty clearly.
And I'm going to make it pretty short work of this dude with the shotgun, because it's kind of OP. There you go. See? Diamond Lake. Ghost comes here with a ray. Oh man, the English in this game is great, and this is a really import-friendly game, much like Holy Diver. Everything is in English. The ending text, like the text scroll at the end, the dialogue in the ending is not in English.
Call that English. Everything
else, right? English. You can understand it just as much as the Japanese people who played this game can. So yeah, it's super import friendly just because it's an action platformer. You don't need to know anything about what's being said, even if there were something being said that was important. There's a Jaws reference coming up here in a minute.
To be Friday the 13th kind of vibe to this area.
Yeah, hence Diamond Lake. There's a couple of references here. Oh, this isn't the Friday. This isn't the Jaws reference. There is a shark that attacks you later.
How many stages are in this game?
6 or 7, I want to say.
I don't know if Nintendo would have been okay with the naked legs sticking out of the lake.
Yeah, that also may have been a problem for them. Here the Jaws bit is here. What's up, Skelebro? Yeah, so that's all my shotgun shells on that shotgun.
It's funny that...
And Rick's axe takes almost everything down in one hit, except for bosses, which is very player-friendly. I'm just getting my shit knocked around by these little spiny things. Okay, I think we're getting Jaws stuff. Yep, there we go. Sharks are saltwater animals, not freshwater. So
I don't know.
This is the Great Salt Lake. Diamond Lake is
fast shark.
You cannot, as far as I know, kill the sharks. You have to just jump over them. I do not believe that you can kill them. And if you can, it's too much. It's more trouble than it's worth.
It doesn't look especially like, is there an audio cue that...
Well, it's a shark. I mean... So this is a reference to a film called The Burning, which was discussed on an episode of the Halloween special of the first Action Cast Halloween special. We talked about The Burning. That's what's happening here for those who are maybe possibly unawares. That's a more obscure one. That's one that I think has to be explained.
So are you being attacked by a guy with
sort of pose he takes? Yeah, he uses a hedging shears in the film. But that pose in the background that he takes is basically that's the poster image for The Burning, with him at the arms above his head. But he's got hedging shears instead of like serving utensils, right? Which is that's the joke. So again, like there's the people who made this game very clearly have a deep and abiding love for horror films of the decade the game was made in and before. Burning came out in, I want to say, 81. It was the Weinstein's first film. And it features a very young Jason Alexander. Really? Yeah, with hair.
What?
And a Fisher Stevens and Academy Award nominee Holly Hunter. It's got like an obscenely famous cast for a film of its
Wow, look at him there with his hair.
vintage. Yep. You just like do a like an image search for Jason Alexander, The Burning, or
He looks so youthful.
I know. And that's what's weird is that's like just like what 7 or 8 years before Seinfeld.
Well, the funny thing with George is I always
He's
felt like
totally
he was,
bald.
Like the characters in Seinfeld treated him as though he was like this older, fatter, uglier guy than he actually was. Like they always treated him as though he was really fat, but he wasn't like very fat.
So this sequence, you gotta haul ass before this sewer fills up, which is not especially difficult, but you can die if the water fills up all the way. Oh, whoa. That's like a reference to Edvard Munch's The Scream, I think. Clearly, this game came out too early to be a reference to the film Scream. And these dudes all take 2 hits, which I'm just like, I don't even want to deal with them.
So I guess you must be doing better in this world, getting a little bit more famous, because we seem to be attracting spam bots to our Twitch chat for the first time that I've ever seen.
Wow. I think we've gotten them before during like Extra Life and
Had
stuff.
2 so far. They just show up,
yeah, I mean,
and drop a really
generally,
ugly link into the chat and then disappear.
if you're on if you're in the On the Stick account, you can get rid of that, and you can ban them too. Actually,
well,
which you should do.
I'm not on that account.
If you're logged into the On the Stick. Oh, you're not. Oh, and I didn't change the name of the stream either, because I'm an idiot.
I mean, a pestilence of nights is kind of vague.
It is, but you were playing Plague Knight. You played like 2 hours last week.
I finished that game,
like all by your
on stream.
lonesome. Nice. I had to post that. I had to transfer that over to the YouTube channel. So it was you. Why did you break in the middle though? That was the thing that I was sort of confused about. Like,
don't
there's
remember stopping the stream. Oh, you know what? I think my connection just dropped at one point.
Okay. So there's a werewolf here. I don't know if this is a particular werewolf reference to like American Werewolf in London. He's one of the harder bosses actually.
Cycle of the Werewolf.
Because he does this. He does this. He has that force field. Oh yeah, it could be a reference to Teen Wolf. There were a lot of werewolf movies in the '80s. Werewolves were in for a minute there. So there was, as I say, American Werewolf in London. There was Teen Wolf, as you say, Teen Wolf 2, starring
That's Teen Wolf 2. Wasn't it
2?
Jason Bateman?
Yes. It was Jason Bateman, yes. He's supposed to be the cousin of Michael J. Fox's character or something.
Which is really, I mean, there's such a weird incestuous relationship between the Batemans and the Foxes. No, I'm trying to think, because Justine Bateman was on...
Oh no, I missed the shot. I jumped up too early and I missed the shotgun because of it. Damn. Yeah, I'm not really sure about that whole thing. Speaking of Michael J. Fox, I'm super stoked because Kurt and I and Marion have tickets to go see Back to the Future 2 on Marty Arrives in the Future Day at the Alamo Drafthouse. But yeah, werewolves were in the 80s. Actually, in 1981, werewolves were especially in. In 1981, American Werewolf in London came out, The Howling came out, and Wolfen all came out in 1981. Oh, shit. Yeah, so this stage, there's the rotting bridge, and if you fall through, then you get sent, like, basically back to the beginning of the stage.
Okay, I found the links. I'm sorry. Justine Bateman began playing the role of Mallory Keaton on Family Ties. Mallory was sister to Alex, played by Michael J. Fox.
Shit.
So then her brother plays
her brother plays Michael J. Fox's cousin. Yeah. Right. God damn it.
I knew that there was some kind of link there.
Was there any chatter in the chatter?
The judge made a really bad joke, and I yelled at him for that.
Can you do me a favor? Can you look up the password for the Hell House stage in this game? Because I didn't make a note of it.
Your friend of my game facts. I have. Well, 7397 is one that you did recently that I saw, and then there's the stage 7 is 8671, but I think you might not be there yet.
No, I'm not at stage 7. I think I'm at stage 6.
There only are 7
what is it?
Stages, though. 7397.
Okay. So maybe I will. Maybe I will finish it.
You got the chops.
Well, I'm going to lose a bunch of health, which is going to make this a lot harder.
Jonathan was wondering if there were Shining or House on Haunted Hill references in the...
well, the Hell House on the Hill is, I think, a House on Haunted Hill reference. Now, this is the thing that I want to ask you and the chat, actually. People have told me, more than one person has told me recently, and I've read on like a list or two, that the remake of House on Haunted Hill is actually a good movie. So you don't lose you don't lose all your health, but you lose a good chunk of it. Four sticks would be what I would start with if I was starting from 0.
Well, I can tell you that on IMDb,
but I had way more.
5.6 out of 10.
Well, that doesn't mean... I mean, I like movies that have lower scores than that on IMDb, so that doesn't mean a lot to me.
I can tell you that on Rotten Tomatoes, it has 28%.
See, so I put slightly more stock in that, I guess, because I feel like the Rotten Tomatoes people are not as bitchy as the IMDb
they're just more likely to take a film in genre.
But no, damn it, God damn it. Yeah, but people have been telling me, like, no, that movie's really good. And I'm like, I saw that movie in high school, and I, like, hated it. And I have, like, I really like the William Castle original with Vincent Price. So either my memory is flawed, or, like, these people who I otherwise trust are super wrong about this movie, or I don't know, man. It's weird to me, though, because I remember not just, like, not liking the movie, but, like, hating it. And people now are like, no, man, that's like one of the best horror movies of the 90s, which, like, the 90s are kind of a garbage... God damn it! So the shotgun kicks you back, especially if you use it when you jump, so I got kicked back into a hole there, which is annoying. But the 90s were sort of a shit decade for horror films in general. Fuck me. The 80s are a great decade for horror. The 70s and the 80s are great decades for horror. The 30s, the 50s, but like the 40s, the 60s, and the 90s are, and the aughts. This is shaping up to be a good decade for horror so far.
What do you include in that?
But this decade, you mean? 2011 to now. Oh, what movies? Oh man, like The Babadook was really good. It Follows was really good. All the Boys Love Mandy Lane was a lot of fun. Hatchet might have been 2000.
That seems to mostly be fans of the original House on Haunted Hill, by the way.
Yeah, the original is legit for sure. I have it. It's also in the public domain, I believe. So I have it on like one of these random, like, you know, this is a collection of, you know, random public domain horror. Like, here's like Nosferatu and Night of the Living Dead and a bunch of stuff we didn't have to pay for
movies.
Yeah, basically. But I paid money for it. But like the people who sold it to me didn't pay money for the rights to any of the films, which some of them are really terrible transfers. But it was like $10. Came in a pretty nice steel case, and it's got the one that I have came with like a haunted house music CD.
Cool. Like that time I bought Indian
fun,
food and I got a CD full of sitar playing.
Nice. But this set has like it's got the Last Man on Earth, which is my personal favorite adaptation of Richard Matheson's I Am Legend.
Oh yes.
Of which there have been 3 film adaptations.
Omega Man, one of those?
The Omega Man is one of those. This is The Last Man on Earth, The Omega Man, and what is this dude doing with me, man? What are you doing, man? What are you putting me in this thing? What an asshole. Whoa. I don't think that's ever happened to me before. I don't think I've ever seen this part of the game. Yeah, I was captured by the Klansmen. As opposed to captured by robots. Wait a second. This thing is a mini-boss, like... This thing that I'm fighting right now is a mini-boss from, like, many stages ago, so if I just got sent back, like, 5 stages, I'm gonna be upset. In fact, I'm probably gonna die on purpose and, like...
got all the
put in the password for the last level. Yeah, this definitely has not happened to me before.
It's probably just a classic NES-era reuse of a boss.
Nope, this is... Whoa! Yeah, but I definitely... The last time I beat this game, I did not do this part. I don't remember this at all.
Garrett says this is
That's a whole bunch of flies, though.
Getting eaten by a dinosaur.
Yeah. It was sort of an acid trip in that pit, though. Killer clocks that are watching you. So yeah, this decade is shaping up to be pretty decent for horror. I also like the first Purge was not good, but I heard the second Purge movie was good, though I have not yet seen it. Oh, You're Next is a ton of fun.
Oh, I thought that
as
was
well.
like a cheerleading.
Everything that everything that Ty West has done. I'm gonna kill some toilet goblins here. Everything that Ty West has done, which I think maybe House of the Devil, I think was actually 2009, but all of his other films have been this decade, including his most recent, which was The Sacrament, which is really great.
So the 90s had The Craft, so all is forgiven.
The Craft is, I do like The Craft, and like every girl in that movie was like a severe crush object for me when it came out, so... like, yeah, every girl in that movie. I thought they were all just obnoxiously attractive as a 14-year-old. I mean, I guess I still think they're attractive. But
look them up. Image search.
God damn it!
The House Girls, I take it. Is that Nev Campbell?
Oh yeah. That's Nev Campbell, Rachel True, Fairuza Balk, and why can I never remember her name? The chick who is Deb in Empire Records.
Totally forgot that Nev Campbell was a person.
She was big figure in 90s horror movies. She was the star of Scream.
And Party of Five?
Which is also a great movie. Yeah, and Party of Five. So this Soda Machine, if you, like, you might miss this if you play this game, but if you press up, you can actually drink a soda out of the Soda Machine, and it completely refills your health. Because I think I might be going into the final boss encounter. Yeah, this is the final boss encounter. So I guess I am going to beat this game, although I'm not going to get the good ending, so I apologize preemptively for that. But I am going to beat this game on the stream tonight.
What happened to Fairuza Balk?
She's around. The last thing I saw her in... Well, actually, I've seen her in two things recently, but they were both documentaries. So she was in... Whoa, those little pumpkins are motherfuckers. She narrated a film called Beyond Clueless, which was sort of postured as a sort of delving into 90s teen films, and it really doesn't do a very good job of that. It's like a 90-minute video essay, which might sound like the same thing as a documentary, but I assure you it is not.
It's been in approximately one
and that movie sort of
the last 6 years, but I'd never heard of any of them.
There you go. And she was in a documentary called Lost Soul, which is on Netflix right now, and I highly recommend checking out. I've recently been really into documentaries about movies that either did not get made or were like severely compromised. And Lost Soul is about the making of the Island of Dr. Moreau, the one with Val Kilmer and Marlon Brando.
Val Kilmer. You must have loved Jodorowsky's
I loved it. That was the one that kicked it off. Kurt and Marion and I went to see that downtown when it was playing at the E Street Cinema here in
Jonathan
DC.
postulates that this last boss here is a reference to the Charlie Brown Great Pumpkin.
He might be. I don't know if that's like a cultural reference in Japan.
There are a lot of pumpkin references in Halloween. It could just be a Headless Horseman kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, it could just... Yeah, right. Could be the Headless Horseman. Oh, again, like, that's another thing. Like, I don't know how salient some of those references are in Japan. So, if the shit thing now is that I'm so close to the end of this game that if I have to use a password, I'm about to play through the whole stage again. Sorry again while I lubricate my throat.
Chug that cherry.
Yeah, this dude is not that bad once you sort of get the pattern down. Also, I love the way this stage looks. Or not stage, but like this room. Dodging him while he's bouncing around is like the biggest thing, which I failed at miserably right there.
Oh man, it's just like a screensaver.
Sort of. Yeah, I know, it totally is. But he moves a lot faster than a screensaver.
You can crank the speed setting up pretty high. You ever try running Windows 3.1 on a Pentium?
No, I can't even imagine what that would look like.
Add frames for your bouncy screensaver.
What about my flying toaster?
I don't know. I was thinking about the flying toasters today. I was thinking about the Bloom County, I think, did like parody screensavers where Opus came out with a shotgun and started shooting at the flying toasters.
That sounds like Bloom County.
That is such a like. That is like 1991 PC culture right there. Isn't the Headless Horseman and Pumpkins a Disney thing? Maybe.
No, in the story by Washington Irving, they find the shell of a shattered pumpkin at the site where Ichabod disappeared.
Listen to the horror meister here, Joseph Drilling. Joseph Drilling's Doom coming soon.
I do really like Dune, not the film, but the books, the Frank Herbert penned books, except for book 4, which is utter garbage.
I love Dune, the original book, but I haven't read it in a long time. I have a friend who will argue that if you read Dune as a teenage boy, then you will love it forever, because it's basically just nothing but self-actualization.
I read it as an adult man, and I still really liked it. And my wife read it as an adult woman, and she really liked it. So,
wow, are you saying that?
I think there's a lot of stuff
could be mistaken.
No, I'm saying that sounds totally legit. Like, if you read it as a teenage boy, you probably will love it forever. But I guess what I'm saying is that it's not limited to that.
I'd like to believe that I would still enjoy it. I really loved it when I was younger, but my copy disappeared. And then I bought another one, and that one disappeared. So someone out there is enjoying Dune at my expense.
Well, you might have just thrown out another $6 to get yourself another paperback copy of Dune.
I think Wise says that from what I saw, the film at least had some good bits of Lynchian weirdness. I'm not entirely sure.
It's kind of short on Lynchian weirdness, to be perfectly honest. Like, I think it fails as a David Lynch film and as a Dune film, which is why I don't like it. Because it really satisfies... I like both of those things a lot, and it satisfies, like... It scratches none of my itches as a fan of
Lynch's Dune got made into a really weird PC game that I played a bunch of.
And Sega CD
game. Is it on Sega CD?
It's like the first real-time strategy game, basically. If I'm not mistaken. God damn it.
I mean, no, not
I think I'm going to have to go back
one.
to the beginning of the stage here.
It's technically a real-time game that is about strategy, but it's nothing like Dune 2, for example.
Mike, can you hit me up with that last password? The final password?
Sorry, I should have kept that page open. It won't be
That's
long.
all right. Yeah, you should. I thought you did.
8671.
Excuse me. 86. So at least maybe this way we'll get a look at the alternate route, and I won't get caught by the spooky dude.
Jared says he made the mistake of watching the extended version first, which was a bit... Should have seen the original cut to try to wrap my head around it. But yeah, no, the original Dune game is not a real-time strategy game. It's more of a real-time adventure strategy, or it's more of an adventure strategy.
Is it Dune 2
yes,
that I'm thinking of then?
The first really awesome real-time strategy game. And it was totally awesome, but it doesn't have much by way of story, and it doesn't have much by way of the Lynchian Dune aesthetic. Whereas the first Dune game is, again, it's like a first-person
God damn it
adventure game.
Sorry, everybody, I got caught by the dude again. He's gonna put me in the mouth, and I'm gonna have to go the same route that I did before, so you don't get to see the alternate path. Fair enough.
I wanted to be the bigger man about this.
That's good. I appreciate that.
Anyway, yeah, so it's a game about like raising up the Fremen to take over the planet, like kind of one province at a time, I guess, and you control the spice production, and you have to arm them with weapons and things, and they get lonely if you leave them alone for too long. It's really weird. So the
Fremen is like a warrior culture. Why would they get lonely?
If you don't come and visit them, then their morale suffers. And so it's really annoying for the first part of the game because you have a bit of like telepathy that you can use to talk to them, but at the beginning it's really weak, so you have to keep flying around the world over and over again in your ornithopter to go and talk to all of your different Fremen tribes that are on your side. Later on in the game...
And you said it is based... The game is based on the Lynch Dune movie, not the... Because Dune 2 was as well.
The characters you talk to look like they're from the Lynch movie.
Which is weird, because the whole way they treated like the weirding way, which is really just like the Fremen's way of referring to Paul Atreides' Swordmaster fighting style. You know, but it turns into this weird, like, weaponized sound device in the Lynch movie. Yeah, weirding module it becomes, right?
I'm a little bit confused now, because maybe I just played too much of these games, but I thought that the weirding module was a thing that you Wanpaku.
No, in the books they refer to the way he fights as the weirding way because it's different from the way the Fremen fight. But it's not like a there's no like thing. It's just like his badass Atreides kung fu or whatever, and that's how they refer to it, at least initially. It's weird. That movie is weird, and the fact that he like makes it rain. How does the game address that he makes it rain at the end of the movie? Like,
all right, so according to the Dune wiki, the weirding module is introduced into the Dune movie to replace the Bene Gesserit martial art referred to by the Fremen as the weirding way.
Yeah, see, this is what I just said.
He found the idea.
Okay, so it wasn't the Atreides Swordmaster combat; it was the Bene Gesserit.
He stated he did not want to see kung fu on sand dunes.
Why the fuck? Like, so that's David Lynch for you, I guess, and that's probably why he wasn't a very good choice to direct that particular movie, because kung fu on sand dunes sounds like exactly what I fucking want from a Dune movie.
I guess. So
instead of like a thing where you yell into it and it like makes energy lasers or whatever the fuck is like happening in that movie.
What you're interested in, no.
And again, he makes it rain at the end of the like it rains on Arrakis at the end, just like by his like. Yeah, if only. No, just like by his like sheer force of will, like it precipitates on the planet. It's so fucking dumb. No, that definitely did not happen in the book. After like, when Leto is emperor of Dune for like 1,000 years or something, like then it's like Dune, like Arrakis eventually becomes like a lush temperate planet, but it takes like, yeah, like 1,000 years or something. That's the weird thing about those books. Like there's massive time jumps in between some of the later books. Like the first two are basically like concurrent, and then the third one sort of takes place like not that long after, and then between the third and fourth book there's like 1,000-year time jump. I
only read the first one, but I did play a shitload of those PC games.
Yeah, was the first one was not on any consoles, right?
I don't think so. It was very PC.
The second one was on, I think, Genesis and Sega CD. With like, did the Sega CD one do that thing where like Sega CD games would add like grainy cutscenes from the movie, like the Terminator? It's one of my favorite things about the Sega CD Terminator game is that it has these really horrifically grainy cutscenes from the film.
172 by 140 pixels or something like that.
Oh, I couldn't even tell you, and like a giant black box, and they're grainy as fuck because even with the Sega CD's additional processing power, the Genesis just could not display that many colors at the same time.
The game was apparently on Sega CD.
Was okay. So the first one was the one on Sega CD, and the second one was the one on cartridge. Then I think.
Cutscenes. I'm gonna take your word for it, buddy.
It did have Lynch Dune cutscenes.
I was playing it on a PC that did not have the CD-ROM drive, so even if there were cutscenes in the PC version, I didn't see them. This was back at the days when you could get PC games where they had versions for CDs, drive computers, and versions for diskette.
Right, CD and floppy.
So no voices.
Yeah. Usually the talkie version was the CD-ROM.
No gratuitous movie insert shots.
You missed out, man.
I did.
Speaking of CD-ROM games with those kind of like gratuitous, multimedia presentation stuff, I'm super excited because Jared, the Giant Head, and his lovely bride are doing another article for 31 Days of Horror Games later this month, and it's on the Are You Afraid of the Dark PC game, which I am really excited to read about. Partially because I'm a mark for Are You Afraid of the Dark, but also because that game came with the first PC my family bought. It was one of the included pieces of software, and I could never ever get it to work. It never ran. So I'm just like continuously curious, and I never like pirated it or got it to work on a different PC. So I'm just like still continuously curious about like what it is. I'm sure it's just like a crappy multimedia adventure game.
I have told you that one of the kids I went to school with has been on episodes of Are You Afraid of the Dark?
I think you did. Yeah, it was a Canadian show, so yeah, that makes sense. I don't know if you actually told me. Was your friend in any of the ones with Ryan Gosling?
He was a year younger than me, but I kind of knew who he was.
Do you know if he was in the one with Ryan Gosling? Because Ryan Gosling was in an episode of Are You Afraid of the Dark? Yes.
Well, I don't know if that would be very
So I'm doing pretty well. I'm gonna jinx it by saying something, but I'm doing pretty well here. I think we're gonna see the ending.
Nice. It's almost 11 o'clock.
This time. This dude does take a shitload of hits, though, and the bosses in this game do not have an energy bar.
You don't have a shotgun.
Which is, yeah. They don't give you any shotguns in the final stage here for, I think, reasonably obvious reasons. Basically that they want it to be hard. Oh, Jesus. I'm bad at predicting screensavers, apparently. Please be dead. Yay!
Congratulations, I guess. I can't see it.
I'm looking at this with the preview stream, and you're not. There's like a total like Guerrilla War style like flashing screen like epilepsy thing happening, but you're not gonna see that on the stream, I don't think, because the stream is 30 frames per second and the game is running at 60, which is weird to me, sort of, but I guess not really.
So the guy that I know, Michael Yarmish, was only in 2 episodes, and I don't think either one of them involved. And Jared says that the game was pretty competent for his aging memories, adventure/miss type game.
Oh, it was that era. Okay, so what's happening here is the text is not translated because I'm playing this on an actual Famicom cart, not a repro or anything like that, or an emulator. But this guy is the director, and he's saying that was great acting, you're wonderful, and all this stuff. So the gag is that you were
a movie the whole time.
You were making a horror movie the whole time, which is funny because there's so many movie references in it. He takes the mask off, and there's Rick. That's, I think, the only time you get a good look at Rick unmasked in the entire series until the recent remake, and the Terror Mask laughs maniacally. So this is the lesser ending that we just saw. And everything goes nuts. It's a possessed set, so it was a horror movie, but it's still also kind of real or something. The quote good ending, Splatterhouse. The quote excuse me, the quote good ending. Oh, here you go. Fortunately, the movie Splatterhouse has completed. Thank you. You are great. Winners don't use drugs. Damn straight.
There's
Damn
your
straight.
arcade heritage.
So the quote unquote. I really want a shirt that says that, but I haven't been able to find one that looks like it's made of reasonable quality and is at a reasonable price. The good ending involves, after the director says all that stuff, instead of the mask like laughing and then like whatever that stuff happening with the mask and the stuff flying around, what happens instead is that Rick and Jennifer walk away, and they go down a path to a dark, spooky mansion, and like there's a thunderclap, and it's basically like now the original Splatterhouse is going to start. They're going into the house now.
The true Splatterhouse begins here.
The true Splatterhouse begins here. That's the secret ending. To get that, there's 2 secret stages that I didn't remember how to access, and I didn't want to look it up. But there's 2 bonus stages that there's like a hidden way to get into them, and you have to complete those, and then you get 2 crystals, and once you have the crystals, then that triggers the extended good ending.
This was a Namcot game.
It was a Namcot game. I always assumed that was like a soft, like a French tea, like a soft,
yes,
you know what I mean?
Namco.
Like that it was Namco. Yeah, but I don't know. That's just my interpretation, but it could have been Namcot. I'm not really sure. But yeah, it's also a weird shaped cartridge. I don't have a camera on, so I can't show you what the cartridge looks like. If you watch the obscure old games about it, you can see the cartridge. I show it off. But because in Japan, so in America, there was all that stuff with the crash, and Nintendo manufactured all the cartridges themselves. You'd give an order to Nintendo, minimum 10,000 copies. They would manufacture them and send them back to you, or whatever. In Japan, the publishers were allowed to manufacture their own cartridges, which is why there's like a total. They come in all different shapes and sizes. Well, not all different. Actually, a lot of them are very similarly shaped and sized. But the Namco ones, the earlier ones, and some of the later Konami ones are extra long. So there you have it. And now it's just gonna repeat the credits over and over again. I guess
long
I don't
box
know.
in cart form.
Yeah, sort of. And the cases that those early Namco games came in, they came in plastic, almost like Genesis style clamshell cases. I don't have the box for my copy, but those are pretty cool. Most Famicom games came in cardboard, like NES games, and I think I only have one boxed Famicom game. I'm almost positive. I have Kaiketsu Yanshimaro 2, which is Kid Niki the Radical Ninja 2. And I think that's my only boxed Famicom
It's a pretty
game.
cool looking cart. Halfway between an NES cart and a Famicom cart.
Yeah, sort of. Yeah, absolutely. So that was Splatterhouse Wanpaku Graffiti. Thanks everybody for joining us.
One up in the time limit.
Yeah, I'm glad I actually did get to finish it, and everybody got to see the ending. And thanks everybody for coming and watching, and thanks spam bots for being spam bots. And I'm going to correct the name of the feed, and I'm going to get this posted on the old website tomorrow. So a lot of people you may be watching, or you may have just watched this on YouTube, and if so, thanks, and check out everything else that we do here on the YouTube channel, and everybody else check out everything else, and check out everything else we do in general. This is part of OnTheStick.com's The Curse of 31 Days of Horror Games, which once again is our 5th annual 31-day marathon of horror gaming, and there's articles, stuff that friends of ours have written, and videos, and we've got at least one guest video coming up, a bunch of guest posts, all kinds of cool stuff happening. So check out daily. I'm trying to get them up I'm trying to get them all to go up at 9 a.m. Eastern time on the day they're up. I can't guarantee that's going to happen with every single entry, but that's my goal. So stay tuned. Check that stuff out.
I got some kegs to clean, and you've got a migraine to not have.
I've got a migraine to sleep off. Yeah, so so thanks everybody for coming by.
We will be streaming.
Yeah, we'll be back next week with something else spooky.
Horror games all October.